In this quick video, we're going to be looking at how we can combine two powerful tools, Notebook LM and Google Gemini, especially the gems within Gemini. Let's just say this is a powerhouse feature that's been added to Gemini, and I think for people who can take advantage of this, there's infinite possibilities for you. So we're going to start off, and you'll notice I am in Notebook LM, just notebooklm.google.com, and I have lots of notebooks that I have compiled here. And the advantage of a notebook is it takes your most trusted resources and puts them in one place. So I'll click into this Civil War. This has some of my favorite resources from a Civil War unit that we've done, and it is a notebook that has this specific knowledge base that it's going to utilize. Another example could be this physical science course. So it's not just one unit, it's an entire set of course resources. The one I'm going to use for an example today is a huge library that I built up over time. It is called Futures Team Future Skills. So this has some of the best research on the workforce and future of school. You can see I've got lots of resources that are built in here. Essentially, it's looking at what are the skills people will need for their future. Now, this notebook is awesome. Studio's awesome. I could do a lot of great things in that by itself, but it's also great to know that you now have the power of Notebook LM's curated resources in Google Gemini. So I'm going to jump over to Google Gemini now, and as long as I'm signed in with the same account, which I am, you can see here we've got a prompt that I've written. I'm going to try to take some of that future skills notebook, all those great resources, and use the power of Gemini to create something for myself that I kind of need. And you can see the same way that in the past I've been able to add from Drive or add from code or uploading a file, I now have an option for Notebook LM as well. And we're just going to peek in here, and I know I could be using my Civil War resource if I needed that. Any one of my notebooks that I've ever created, I have access to here. I'm going to choose the one that says Futures Team Skills Exploration because that's the knowledge base that I want to incorporate into this. And again, we just choose Notebook LM and choose the appropriate notebook. I'm also going to put on thinking mode because I want this to do some deep analysis, and then I'm going to send this on its way. The advantage to utilizing Notebook LM is if you've already built a notebook that has your best resources in it, then you can just reference it in Gemini to create whatever you want. So I'm giving a prompt to essentially do a search and just give me a Gemini output, but I could be telling it to make a set of Google Slides. I could turn Canvas mode on and have it make a document for me. It could write a quiz for me. It could write a brief or a well-cited sources in an email thread, if I'm trying to communicate an important idea. So this is a powerhouse. And again, all you have to do instead of adding a file, you just add the entire notebook. What this lets a person do is build the resources they need for a particular topic in Notebook LM, and then have that accessible to you anytime you're working in Gemini to create or to inquire or have conversations. Really, really helpful feature. And you can see this did a pretty good job of taking some of those future skills that are based on over 50 different sources and framing those in a way that is helpful to me for what I was looking for. So we're going to now jump over to the Gems section in Google Gemini, and you get to that just by clicking the Gems button here. And when I click into my gems, I have the option to create a new gem. And gems are crazy easy to use. What I want you to reference here or notice is that in our knowledge base here, where we have that add files section, instead of me giving a bunch of different things from my drive, I can just take an entire Notebook LM. So I'm going to pretend that I want a physical science resource, right? I can select that. That becomes my knowledge base, all the stuff that I've already compiled in that. And then I can give custom gem instructions to get my chatbot to behave the way that I want it to behave. So this could be a study helper for physical science class. It has all the info that I want it to have already. It could be any type of tool where I would want to give custom instructions. So all you'd have to do is just know that you basically write your gem name, you write the instructions for how you want it to use this. You are a study helper to my students in class. You are a frequently asked questions answerer related to questions for the handbooks, whatever that thing is, right? So if you have the great resources here, you put that in. Some different examples of gyms. For those of you who have not built many of these, you can build a helpful email responder. You can build brainstorming tools. You can create fun challenges that can support learning in your classroom. So this is a haunted classroom experience. All sorts of ways that you can do this. But what I want you to recognize in this video is that by adding a notebook, right, where you've already curated all of the resources that you want into one space, you save a lot of time in giving Gemini the knowledge base it needs to have to be able to do the work, whether that's in a simple thread of conversation you're having with Gemini or building a custom gym. You have the power to do some pretty amazing stuff when you combine it with Notebook LM. Hope this is helpful. Have a great day.